see about the Venus sun, astronomical sign. For me, it's the astronomical sign of the Immaculate, because not only appears that conjunctions in the skies on the day of Guadalupe, but also the data in which Pope Pius the ninth delivers the dogma of Immaculate. And also, when Our Lady appears in the Refuge Medaille Miraculeuse, she says,
miraculous medal.
Oh Maria, without sin concept.
Mary conceived without sin. Pray for us who have recourse to thee. Yeah.
In the third apparition of the Refuge, were at the same time this conjunction Venus Sun.
Can you sorry, I just want to pause. From a scientific point of view, which you're a geologist, can you explain what happens when there's a conjunction between the Venus and the Sun? Can you explain that in a bit more detail for those that don't understand what that means? Does it mean they both align together?
Yes, it's aligned, and you can see in the sky both together, at least at the same coordinate, ecliptic coordinate. That means it should not be necessarily one over the other, but both are at the same ecliptic coordinate. That is a conjunction. Usually, maximum separation between the two stars are 5-6 degrees.
Right. Okay.
But that is an astronomical conjunction.
And how do astronomers figure this out? How do they know when there's a conjunction?
You could see in any star program that you can even have in your
on your phone. Yeah.
Yes, telephone. Yeah?
Right.
As you see here, I have only taken.
Can I just ask one more question? Do the conjunctions happen more than once every year, or just once? How often do they happen?
It depends on the conjunction. The conjunction Venus-Sun is changing between 290 days and 298 days. Depends on. Okay. But you can today, with a very simple software, know until 5,000 years before the date in which has been accomplished the conjunction.
Right.
It's very easy. And there are other conjunctions, not only Venus-Sun, but this is the one that always it's at the same time that is something from the Immaculate.
Sure. Okay. So first, when you say it's happened during the apparition or the creation of the tomb of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Yes.
And then you said during the pronunciation of the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. And what was? Can you continue?
The third is in the apparition of the Immaculate medal. And the last is the day that source the fountain at Lourdes, where the water is giving health to thousands of people. That date was in which in Lourdes the Virgin says, "I am the Immaculate Conception."
Right. Okay.
And that date of the water is giving source has conjunction Venus-Sun. Here is a table in which I set up the full moon dates for the next year, this year and next year. Why I show this? Because I know that the warning should be in a full moon configuration. Okay, and I know, because private revelations on Peña Blanca, on San Juan Bosque, Saint John Bosque, I know that the war that precedes the warning will take 200 days. What that means is any of these full moon dates could show 200 days before something interesting that I could say this is the beginning of the war. And you know what happened 200 days before? Exactly 200 days before, there is a conjunction Venus-Sun. That date is 23rd of March, 225.
2025?
Yes. That means that will be the date in which the real Third World War starts. I don't know. But following all these signs, all these prophecies together, I found that date. It's a date that is mix of the moon, the sun, and one star, Venus. It's very. I am looking for that date.
So that you're not saying that is the date of the warning. This is the date of the beginning of the Third World War. Is that what you're?
Yes, and 200 days after, in a full moon configuration, will be the warning. That means on the 7th of October of 2025. 7th of October, you know what feast is?
Our Lady of the Rosary?
Yes. That have sense? Very much sense.
Makes sense.
And okay, it's very easy to go further. Well, this is only to show where in the year are the Mosaic feasts. The first feasts are in spring. The last feasts are 3 on autumn. The whole last things will happen on the feasts, Mosaic feasts of Tisri, September, October, plus the last one. You know, the last one should be usually is in December. This year, dedication. You understand why it's being called dedication? Because the first abomination in the Maccabee time was performed on the 3 years before at that time of the year, and they rededicates the temple on that date, on December, and that is the feast of Januka, of Enthenias, or the lights, or dedication.
That's on Christmas Day?
This year, yes. One of the 8 days.
Right.
It's 8 days. And this year starts our Christmas days.
Yeah.
But do you think that could have some relation with the abomination of desolation this last week? Of course. If the temple has been wiped, now someday should come again the reinstitution of the Eucharist, the dedication again of the temple. Very interesting. Finally, this is the complete scheme. Times are based on this blue that are the conjunctions between Venus and Sun, and there are four parts. First, until the beginning, in which we are already. Second, from the beginning until the half of the week. Third, until the chastisement and the transformation. And the last one is accessing to the kingdom. I will give you all the details of the 4 parts that are built under our under faith truths.
Right.
The center, the Eucharisty, the abomination of desolation, the center. At both sides, very important facts of Our Lady. And at both, and even more sides, very important facts for the papacy.
Oh, it's interesting.
Is built around the catejon. Interesting?
It's very hard to understand for me. Sorry. But
no, the first time is too much information.
Yeah. But can
But
you just tell me, can you repeat that again, just a bit more slow, so that I just want to try to understand this graph that you have on the screen. So let's start from 2027. That represents, I can't quite read it. In the red, what does it say?
Below the red line, the horizontal red line, are the star conjunctions.
So these are Venus-Sun conjunctions?
Star. Okay.
So the blue ones are the Venus-Sun conjunctions below the horizontal red line, right?
Yes. And over that are facts. Some of those facts have already happened. Some should happen in the future. Okay.
Right. So let's look at the 2024 one. What does it say? What date was that one?
The solar eclipse of the U.S.,
right,
Mexico and U.S. in the 8th of April, last April.
Okay.
At 40 days, it was an eclipse that were passing through 7 cities
of Nineveh.
Yeah. Nineveh will be destroyed 40 days after. What 40 days after was Pentecost in our Latin Roman Rite.
Right, okay.
And it's very, very interesting that the next conjunction was on the 4th of June. From that 4th of June till the second Pentecost are exactly 7 perfect years.
Oh. So repeat that again. So from that 4th of June.
From that 4th of June, that is the next conjunction of the first, after first Pentecost, that was not, the date of Pentecost was for the Latin Rite, but not for the Orthodox Rite, neither for the Hebrew, that was later. Okay?
Sure. Okay.
But the conjunction that were between Pentecosts of Latin Rite and Hebrew Rite, if you take that date,
so we're talking about the 4th of June, 2024.
From 2024 up to 2031, on the after 1,335 days.
I get you.
Taking the middle in the abomination of the desolation in another.
So that's exactly 7 years? Is that what you're saying? Exactly 7 years?
Exactly 7 years.
And that is also on the 6th of the 1st, 2030, that will also be a conjunction as well. And that's the end of the 7 years?
No, the end is not a conjunction.
Okay.
But the conjunctions are driven, the facts, the main facts here. For example, the abomination of desolation is in a day of conjunction. For example, the transformation is in a date of conjunction. For example, the 5th dogma. I will tell you this. Our Lady says on Amsterdam that will be declared by a pope on a 31st of May.
And you've got it here on the 31st of May, 2027? Or
On the
2028?
on the 1st of May and 31st of May, on the 2028, is a conjunction Venus-Sun. The same that happened in the declaration of the Immaculate dogma.
Right.
Incredible. It could be that date, the declaration of the fifth dogma.
This is your
I'm not
your
sure.
interpretation. It's also your interpretation.
Yes, of course.
But it's very according to the Venus-Sun conjunctions and amazing.
Private revelations,
Revelation.
public revelations, star signs, a lot of things here. But is for me is a very impressive scheme.
I just want to point out that 2010, 2030. So you think this will be the beginning of the new era of peace, or the reign of? Is that the end of the tribulation?
I have my own interpretation of verse Daniel chapter 9, 26. That is the previous verse of the last week of Daniel.